Hi, welcome to another edition of Page Turning Tuesdays with Tom. We had just moved from the Diamond D Ranch in Shingle Springs to a really nice house in Fair Oaks, California. So let's pick up where we left off. Starting a new school in the middle of the year is easier the younger you are. I'm in the third grade and not terribly anxious on the first day. It doesn't take long to learn the ropes either. The boys welcome me. The girls grimace and glare. It's the boys against the girls, and I know why. At this stage in life, boys are less developed than girls, both mentally and physically. Girls can read better, do math better, speak better, think quicker, run faster, and tackle harder than boys. This is exactly why little boys invented cooties, because if you can't beat them, avoid them. I'd seen this played out in other schools. Kids develop a code of rights, a conduct agreement between opposing parties that is generally followed. At this school, it works like this. Boys write the initials CP on the inside of their wrist with a ballpoint pen. It stands for cootie protection. If a girl is torturing a boy, either emotionally or physically, all he has to do is hold up his hand to signal stop while revealing the sacred initials and shout, "Cootie protection!" And for whatever reason, by laws beyond our comprehension, the girl is obligated to end the abuse and walk away. It's actually a wonderful arrangement. Being the new kid and wanting to fit in, I decided to take their technique to the next level. On the morning before my second day of school, I write with a black Sharpie pen, starting at my wrist, all the way up my forehead, SCPFACCGWTBLM, which obviously stands for Super Cootie Protection from all cootie-carrying girls who torture boys like me. When I get to school and explain how I've beefed up the cootie protection and show the boys in my class the letters I pen running boldly up my arm like a tattoo on a Samoan warrior, my peers deem me a genius. They use the Sharpie I brought to school and copy the letters onto their arms. The news also spreads to other classes. I'm on top of the world. This lasts about an hour, and then at lunch, when the omnipresent vice principal, Mr. Hart, notices the outbreak of black ink in the cafeteria, and I'm quickly ratted out by a girl. The vice principal, makes us scrub the letters off. We form a line at the sink in the bathroom, and he watches. All we have is water, powdered pink soap, and cheap low-quality brown paper towels. We should not have used a Sharpie. Nevertheless, safe to say, I had already made my mark at John Holst Elementary School. The vice principal is a dick. He makes bad calls when he umps our kickball games at recess because he has a lazy eye. He sports a pink wart or growth of sort on the back of his buzzed-cut head. It looks very much like a wad of Wrigley spearmint gum. The school, of course, has a poem in his honor. Mr. Hart cut a fart, blew the whole school apart. By joining my classmates in reciting this poem, I'm welcomed with open arms into my new class and my new school. It was so simple then. We're back to the rule about not being able to eat dinner until John comes home. Sometimes we're starving and he's running late, so we stand in front of the living room windows chanting, "John, come home. John, come home. John, come home," until he finally does. Before eating dinner, he makes each of us drink a tall glass of water so we won't chug our milk, because he says milk is an expensive liquid. Our house starts to feel haunted with the growing tension that exists between Mom and John. They're not talking to each other like they used to. More and more, they're talking less and less, which pushes our stress level higher and higher. When they do speak, it's mostly confrontational. They take opposite sides of every issue and can't agree on anything. My mother is an open-minded, nature-loving rule bender who wants to save the planet. John is an animal-hating, fixed-minded conservative who enforces the rules of a bygone era when men traded women for goats. Mom probably misses the open space and freedom she had on the ranch with her animals, her movies, and John's 60-mile commute to and from work. Now she's cooped up in the house all day with no place to go and nothing to do but take care of her family, something that increasingly bores the crap out of her. She starts drifting away from her happy housewife role and spends days in her room with the door closed, sewing children's clothes, most of which we'll refuse to wear. John and Mom give up on fighting in private and argue right in front of us now, our heads snapping back and forth like watching a ping pong match. And then these battles become even more abusive, vulgar, and barbaric. But their day fights are nothing compared to what we hear at night. That's just an awful thing for kids to hear their parents fighting. Inevitably, you think you have something to do with it. You feel it's your fault. And that's what we're about to get into on the next reading. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time on another edition of Page Turning Tuesdays with Tom. Have a good one. Bye-bye.